It's Shanks. Bro. Bro just mogged the best Pirate Rumble team pre 12th Anni solo. Are we joking right now? Let's open up the dialogue. So yeah, this guy is just ridiculous. I mean, as a regular Rumble unit, he's already probably the best in the game right now. But now, as a co-op captain as well, unbelievable. Let's take a look at this guy's co-op stats. So first off, he is only activating twice his GP burst throughout 3 matches, compared to a unit like 12th Anniversary Buggy, who can activate 12 times, which is like the world record in this entire game. We'll talk about him in a moment. He's also amazing. All these 12th Anniversary characters have incredible GP leaders and amazing bursts. But let's first talk about Shanks. So this guy at level 5, one thing you need to know if you are a newer player, you max the character's GP stats, it affects both their burst and their leader skill. So it's not like regular Rumble, you have to max their passive and special separately, right? So the leader skill, strength type and 4 Empress characters, HP up level 6, speed up of level 6, special CT speed up of level 3, and then cerebral free spirit class and 4 Empress characters, attack up of level 6, recovery up of level 6, defense up of level 4, and then when remaining time is 90 seconds or less. So in the first 10 seconds of the battle, this will activate. Free spirit and driven class enemies, 30% CT delay, a 10% chance. Wait. Cerebral free spirit class teammates, 10% CT reduction. So, bro, he's actually so busted. He essentially has like a burst that can activate every single round reliably. Like, this is as strong as a GP burst in his leader skill. And it just activates every single match unconditionally. All free spirit and driven enemies. And cerebral free spirit allies. Bro, like, what? What were they thinking? But then the special, like, this is what you saw in that video at the start. Just being able to just one-shot basically the entire NIKA Bunny cerebral team. Targets all enemies for 70% chance of action bind for 10 seconds. Targets free spirit and driven class enemies for 100% chance of special bind for 20 seconds. And then targets self-healing enemies for 100% chance of recovery bind for 30 seconds. But then this last part here, targets enemies with action bind, special bind, or recovery bind for damage 2.5 times his attack, ignoring defense. Now, I'm almost 100% sure the guy in the video has Shanks at level 150, limit break expanded with the Rumble key. All these are really important, but at the end of the day, 2.5x ignoring defense is easily the highest we've ever seen from a GP burst. 2.5x just by itself is a gross multiplier, but then the fact that it evades defense, like, bro, I want to try this myself. I don't have him on my main, but I still have an alt account that was supposed to be given away, but the guy who won hasn't contacted me yet, so maybe we could take that account for a spin in the GP using these characters, right? Now, you might be thinking, how good is all that debuffing that he's actually providing at the start there before the damage, right? First off, special bind 20 seconds, 100% chance. That's just amazing, because you can use this after the first 10 seconds of the battle, and then you're guaranteed to be the first wave of specials to go. And a lot of the time in battle, whoever goes first, the entire team activates first, they will have the massive advantage in the battle, because it is a very good chance that in your first wave of specials you will kill enemies, right? But not only that, he's making them vulnerable, he's action binding them, they can't even do normal attacks, they can't heal themselves from their behavior patterns. They can't use specials, of course. So even if a character is evading action bind, they're going to be special binded. Even if they're immune to special bind, they're going to get action binded. So no matter what, they are getting screwed over. They're being vulnerable to the first wave of attacks, and they are also taking a massive damage from Shanks. And since everyone is essentially going to get at least one of these debuffs, basically everyone's getting hit by that damage, right? So it's not only like in a medium range or anything stupid like that, it's just straight up broken, right? So yeah, Shanks, wow. The leader skill having essentially a GP burst in bolt, and then the GP burst itself also being so broken. Even though you can only use it twice, like with how good this is, I would expect it to only be used once. But I mean, twice is enough. GP in its essence is a best of 3 game mode. You only need to win twice. So just activate Shanks on battle 1 and on battle 3 and you win. Even if you lose battle 2 very badly, this can save the match even with a terrible team. It's just that good. So definitely be careful of Shanks when you see him as the GP leader. Not only is he just broken, but of course all the GP rules are benefit if you have a 4 emperors as your GP leader or a celestial dragon. So generally for this GP season, run 5 elder characters, they are celestial dragons. Run Emu, celestial dragon, and of course the new 4 emperor characters, but also old 4 emperors like versus Kaido from Kaido versus Luffy. He's still a great GP leader. You can also run the versus Blackbeard from Blackbeard versus Law as a dot damage dealer as a GP burst, also a 4 emperor. You could also run you can't run Luffy's gear 5 from Wano because he's not an emperor yet then, right? I'm pretty sure even NIKA Bonnie Luffy is not an emperor yet. He's kind of like an official emperor only after Egghead. So let me just quickly check the tag here, because if he's a 4 emperor here, oh, he already is. Okay, cool. Even though Morgan's kind of unofficially named him an emperor, but I guess it still counts in Treasure Cruise. So yeah, also run NIKA Bonnie as your GP leader. There's a lot of opportunities here. One thing, Dex Kizaru from 11th Anniversary is finally dethroned. He's not going to be great in this season, that's for damn sure. But now let's talk about the other GP leaders like Buggy, Luffy, Shanks, or not Shanks, Emu, and also Blackbeard, right? So Buggy is very interesting. Like his GP burst in a vacuum isn't very powerful, but if you take a look at how easy it is to activate his GP burst and how frequently you can do it, it suddenly becomes unbelievably powerful, right? So Buggy, of course, he goes on the Int team. He can go alongside NIKA Bonnie and Kuma, characters like Roger Gaban, Oira and Yamato, all these really powerful Int units, Hancock, Nami, and Robin. So his GP burst, you can activate it 9 times. So there's a very good chance you can use it 3 times per battle. That's just how insane it is. And it's activated every 20 seconds. So very easy charge condition. You can get that burst activated even on the first battle very quickly. In the middle of the first wave of specials, you can use this. And what it'll do is just give a 5k fixed damage to all enemies. No strings attached, everyone 5k fixed. That ignores defense, of course, and by itself it's not very powerful, but remember, you're using this 3 times, even maybe 4 times in a battle if you get down to the wire. That's a total of 15k fixed damage, and then that's to everyone, by the way. And then not only that, he's also giving Slasher, Cerebral, and 4 Emperor tag characters attack up, speed up, defense up, recovery up, all of level 5, and a 30% healing. Like, bro, this is also so broken. Like, with how often he's activating, you'd expect these buffs to be level 3, but level 5 is gross, bro. Speed and defense particularly. Like, having a level 5 speed up buff can make a massive difference in who is attacking first, which can change the tide of the battle. Defense is a massive reduction in damage taken, and level 5 defense is like 125 defense. It's extremely powerful. And that's for 100 seconds. So that's never going to expire, right? And that's going to stack Buggy 1, Buggy 2, Buggy 3. And then also just that healing. It's such a massive contribution overall to the amount of damage you're dealing, your tankiness, your overall health and well-being of your team throughout the battle is being sustained with all those buffs, right? And it's benefiting Slash's cerebral team, all cerebral units like NIKA, Bonnie, and Kuma, who might not be on Slash's, and Kuma's not on 4 Emperors, so he's still benefiting. So yeah, this is very good. Kuma can very easily die as well, so that 30% heal is massive. Of course, his leader as well is also doing some amazing stuff. Int type and 4 Emperors teammates recovery, HP up of level 6, so that's about 1500 HP, about 300 recovery increase, I'm pretty sure, and then special CT speed up of level 3, that's 9% reduction in CT for all those characters, which is so massive. Slasher and cerebral class and 4 Emperors teammates attack up, speed up of level 6, and then defense up of level 4, and that will of course stack with the GP burst, right? And then in the first 50 seconds of battle, which you can activate this twice in the first 50 seconds very comfortably, right? With 10 seconds to spare. So when you do, when you are in the first 50 seconds, your Int, Slasher, Cerebral, and 4 Empress characters get defense up of level 6 and guard percent up of level 6. So defense up is great, especially when tanking specials, doing a lot of damage that doesn't pierce defense, of course. But then guard percent up. Guard is a base percent chance of 5% of a normal attack being reduced 50% of its damage, right? It's essentially like type advantage. You take half damage from the enemy who has type of disadvantage. Of course, there's no color affinity in Rumble, so don't get confused. But guard percent up, level 6 is essentially increasing that 5% chance of a normal attack being guarded, 50% damage reduction. Increases that 5% up to a 35% chance, which is very powerful. Of course, you want to be using that because Buggy's regular kit benefits from the guard percent up. As you can see here, when guarding up to 3 times, cross guild, 7 warlords, and 4 emperors get attack up level 3, speed up level 3, defense up of level 2, and then when appearing on the field, yeah, yada. But all those buffs you're getting constantly thanks to this guard increase, because that stacks with the level 5 guard that he gives himself in his passive. So now we're getting another 25% amp, going up to 60% guard chance using this Buggy. It's just gross, bro. Like, your chance of guarding, especially if you're running Crocodile and Mihawk, the regular end of month legend with this character, who increases guard chance up even further, you're having easily a 100% chance of guarding very frequently, getting all these buffs. So yeah, just generally providing a lot of buffs to your team, not just your Buggy and the Crocodile and Mihawk, but also helping these units activate their abilities with the guard percent up, which besides activating these abilities is just decreasing the damage you're taking, which can be very valuable, right? And as I said, you can activate him 3 times, even 4 times in one battle, and you're never gonna run out of these bursts, and it's just very powerful, right? Yeah, I think he's very well balanced. He's nothing like game breaking like Shanks. He doesn't feel that kind of impact, but he's a very well-rounded character, right? He's doing a lot for the team, right? Now let's talk about Blackbeard. This is the only anniversary character I pulled. I'm really not sure how good he actually is. He is very easy to proc after 7 normal attacks. So very easily in the first 15 seconds of the battle, first 20 seconds, you will have this ready. It can only be activated 3 times, unlike Buggy, which is 9. So you have to be a bit more careful about this. If you're not careful, you could waste like 2 to even all 3 of these in one match. So definitely be careful about when you are fighting against a Blackbeard team with Blackbeard GP leader, because the auto bot just activates the GP burst whenever it's ready. If the bot determines that you are still have a good chance of winning, it'll just activate the GP burst. So if you're going up against Blackbeard, there's a very good chance that the bot will just straight up spam 3 Blackbeard GP bursts in one match, which will very likely lead to your demise. But that is also very beneficial, because if the enemy uses up all their GP bursts in one go, the remaining matches you will have a very easy time. But regardless, his GP burst after 7 normal attacks. Remember, if the enemy paralyzes you, then like the new Shanks, if you get paralyzed, normal attack fails, this will be way harder to charge. So keep that in mind, right? Quick type, Free Spirit class, and Driven class, as well as 4 Emperor tag teammates. 100% chance to reduce action bind, special bind, and paralysis by 20 seconds. So this is actually an incredible counter to the Shanks, because remember, he is action binding you, he is special binding you up to 20 seconds. So you use this burst in counter to that, to reduce those effects. You will still have to deal with the massive damage from Shanks, but Blackbeard can tank that, and even if he does die, he will activate his special upon death, right? So this is very important, because if a character is special binded when they die, their passive ability, which will allow them to activate a special on death, will not work. If a character is confused, or if they're special binded, then that on death's rumble special will not work. So it's very important that he removes that. And of course, you want to remove paralysis so that you can charge his burst even further with your normal attacks actually landing successfully. And of course, action bind is always just harmful. You can't do anything essentially while your unit is still vulnerable. So very good to remove that. And then 100% chance to evade those debuffs for 20 seconds. So not only are you removing it, but also you're making yourself immune to it for a very long time. And then also a shield of level 5 for 20 seconds to all those characters. Wow. Yeah, I think he's going to be much better in GP than in regular Rumble, because he's providing this to so many characters. We all know shield is the most important defensive effect in One Piece Treasure Cruise. A level 5 shield is essentially 2500 extra HP, and when you have a shield active, even if the enemy does 15,000 damage to you, the shield will fully tank that hit, but it will just leave, like the shield will deactivate if it runs out of HP. So it fully tanks at least 1 hit, even if it's a massive amount of damage. So that definitely goes to show how powerful shield is, especially of level 5. This is a very high level shield, and it's for 20 seconds. So it's high enough level shield that the enemy's normal attacks will not pierce it. And that will stay there until the enemy activates their massive special. Or, for instance, you use this before Shanks does his GP burst. The shield will protect you from Shanks's GP burst. So that's very important. That's 2.5x ignoring defense. The shield can completely tank that. So keep that in mind. This guy might be your best bet when it comes to going up against Shanks in Grand Party. And I will definitely showcase this in another video, since I do have Blackbeard myself, of course. And then also, targets 3 quick type, Free Spirit class, and Driven class, as well as 4 Emperor's teammates for 100% chance of haste. 3! Now, it's not targeting units that have their specials ready, so it could just bring forth characters that don't have their specials ready. They're just going to do a normal attack. But even then, it will allow you to once again charge that GP burst. So no matter what, you're getting benefit out of this, right? And then also, targets all enemies for ignoring defense 1.6 times his attack as damage. So it's a bit less than Shanks, but it's still evading defense. And honestly, I'm really liking what I'm seeing, bro. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. We have to see the GP leader skill first before we evaluate him. Quick type, 4 Emperors, attack up, recovery up of level 6, special CT speed up of level 3. Did I already go through this? No, I didn't. That will just have very similar templates, right, for the leader skills. A free spirit, driven, and 4 emperors, speed up, HP up of level 6, defense up of level 4. And then when your remaining crew is the same as remaining enemies, so say you only have 5 allies left on your crew, three of them have died, but the enemy also has 3 of them have died, then this ability will activate once you have the same amount of allies as there are enemies. Then what will happen here? Quick type, free spirit class, and driven class, as well as 4 emperors, another defense up of level 6 and attack up of level 6. When your remaining time is 85 seconds or less, targets free spirit and driven class teammates with special CT 50% or less for 40% CT reduction. So this, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for this to work, unfortunately. There will be characters who have like 2 seconds less than half of their cooldown ready, and this will completely miss. So this will proc at 14 seconds into the battle. A battle is 99 seconds. At 85 seconds remaining, this will proc. If the characters are ready, have 50% CT or more, they get it. If not, it completely woofs. So yeah, it's a bit of a hit or miss, but at the end of the day, if it hits hard, because 40%, like, that's ridiculous, bro. He's definitely the other coin. Like, the Shanks and Blackbeard in GP are like 2 sides of the same coin, but which side is stronger? Probably Shanks. Like, at the end of the day, I do think Shanks is still better, but he might be the second best option. I'm impressed by Blackbeard, very well-rounded unit. But let's talk about Luffy, and then also, of course, Emu, big Emu. So big Luffy, this guy's probably going to work with Dex, Fighter, Powers, of course, and of course 4 Emperors. So he's also 3 times, and after receiving damage 12 times. This can be from normal attacks, from specials, any GP burst, any way of receiving damage 12 times it will charge this burst. So even if you take 1 hit with like 10,000 damage or massive amounts of damage, it'll still only count as 1 time receiving damage. So this does not scale based on how much damage you've taken, so keep that in mind. Targets 3 teammates with a low current HP for 50% healing. Targets team for 750 HP per interval healing for 15 seconds. So whenever a character acts, then that counts as an interval. It doesn't have to be the character who has the buff. When any character acts, that counts as an interval, alright? So that's 750 HP. That's happening very frequently, on top of the 50% initial heal. And then Dex, Fighter, Powers, Straw Hat Pirates as well, and 4 Emperors teammates for special CT 25% reduction, and all enemies for 100% chance to remove attack up and defense up. Wow, okay, that is unique. That is very unique. Removing defense up, that is a big move. You're getting your character's CT charge 25%. That will get so many characters ready. They're gonna charge in with the enemy now vulnerable, no defense up. You're just removing all defense up, and you'll have characters that reduce enemies' defense. So once you remove the enemy's defense and you give level 5 or level 6 defense down at least, the enemy will get to 0 defense, meaning specials will deal as much damage as they possibly can. 100% damage potential. Remember, defense down is 25 per level. Most characters have about 150 defense. So level 6 defense down without defense up will reduce most characters' defense to 0, which means they have 0 damage reduction from defense, which is very impactful. In most cases, the enemy has so much defense up that even if you give like level 6 or 7 defense down, they're still gonna have a decent amount of it left. But Luffy just removes it. He just removes it. And also they attack up, so their damage is also going to be way worse. Oh my goodness. He seems very fun to use. Like, I want to use this guy in content. Dex type 4 Emperors, HP up, recovery up, defense up of level 4, so he's increasing the team's tankiness. Surely he has a shield somewhere. He should provide a shield. Of course, you want to run this guy with versus Zoro from Zoro versus Nustro, so I guess that's where they expect you to get your shield. And also, versus Zoro can sometimes be a bit fragile if the shield isn't active, so that healing can come in clutch. Also for Caesar, Caesar's also very fragile. So they get HP up, recovery up, defense up, and then fighter powers, 4 Emperors. No longer Straw Hats. Where's the Straw Hat characters getting buffs from now? Come on, bro. Why are you so inconsistent? They get attack up, speed up of level 6, so a 30 increase in speed, a 1500 increase in attack, special CT speed up of level 3, that's a 9% CT reduction. And then when you are 19 seconds into the battle or longer, targets team for 3 times recovery healing. When your remaining time becomes 50 seconds or less, targets team for recovery 4 times healing. And when it's 30 seconds or less, 5 times healing. Does this stack? Like, if you in the final 30 seconds, do you get the 3 times healing, the 4 times healing, and the 5 times healing? That might be the case. The way it's worded here, I need to test this out. But regardless, this is very situational because the amount of increase that you get in recovery from level 150, Cotton Candy, Rumble Key, it's going to be essentially double the amount of healing for people who have max Luffy compared to people who have base Luffy, like level 99, level 105, etc, etc. No limit break expansion. So that healing definitely changes dramatically based on how leveled up your Luffy is. At level 105 here, without expansion, no Cotton Candy, it's 406, which is still really good, right? But at the end of the day, you want to have Luffy maxed for this guy to be really good as a GP leader, because he doesn't have anything besides removing enemy defense up. I don't think he has anything like too out there amazing. Yes, he's providing constant healing, constant tankiness. So when it comes to using this guy, I think the strategy is to win GP by timeout, because in Grand Party you can win either by killing all the enemies, or the timer runs out, you have more enemies alive than the enemy. And if using this guy alongside Caesar, alongside versus Zoro, alongside the Rumble Ace, who's going to force out the enemy for like 10 seconds, making it much more like hard for them to actually do damage to you, this is definitely the best way to win by timeout, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's why I think this Luffy is still going to be really relevant, even though he's a very different design compared to the Blackbeard and the Shanks. I still think he's going to be busted for GP in particular with that timeout condition, right? I will have a separate video like showcasing each of these legends in Rumble, particularly in Grand Party that's out right now. But first impressions, Luffy is a timeout genius. Buggy is just a well-rounded, incredible leader, providing damage, support, reducing LICT as well, providing that guard to reduce incoming normal attack damage. Of course, that also helps his passive provide even more buffs. So I think Buggy is probably the worst out of these 4, just because he's not like anything too crazy. He's very well rounded. Like, he's still like top notch, but he's below the rest of them, I would say. But then when it comes to Blackbeard and Shanks, I think Shanks is the best, Blackbeard's the second best, Luffy's the third best, and then the fourth best is my boy Buggy, unfortunately. What about Emu? I don't want to linger on this too much. I was mainly talking about the 4 Emperors. But what about Emu? So yeah, once again, Emu is a celestial dragon, so that will get you all the buffs from the GP season if you use them as the leader. So after 80 seconds of battle, now unlike Emu's special, you can't reduce this with the passive abilities, with other abilities to reduce special CT. It's kind of like ship cooldown in regular content. Specials that reduce cooldown for your units will never apply to ships. It has to explicitly state that. But in GP, yeah, you have to wait the 80 seconds. So you're never going to get this in the first battle, or only towards the very end. But it will target all enemies for 100% chance of ability bind. So this is their rumble passive disabled. And then a 30% CT delay. All enemies, no strings attached. And then Navy and World Government teammates for 100% chance of forced out for 50 seconds. So yeah, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Like, this could literally cause you to lose. This could literally just end your run. It's a double-edged sword, right? It definitely is. This is why, like, it would be really good to run Emu. No, but remember. The special provides the Navy and World Government characters 100% chance to evade forced out. And Emu is going to be ready right at the start, has a very high speed stat. So unless you're going up against NIKA Bonnie, you will always activate Emu first. And that will allow you to prevent that forced out from being a problem. But remember, you can only use it once in the entire base of 3 match, so be very careful about that. And then the leader, strength type, Navy, World Government, attack up level 6, speed up level 6, special CT 3, very similar to the other 4 emperors. And then powers and driven class teammates, HP up, recovery up, and defense up, also very similar. And then Navy and World Government teammates, attack up level 6, special CT speed up a further 3, so that's a total of level 6. In other words, 18% CT reduction. And that's going to be very impactful for your 5 elders. And even you could probably run this character somehow on a Navy team, not a 5 elders team, but I'm not 100% sure where you'd run them. I don't think this unit would synergize with the sword team. But yeah, definitely could go on a World Government team, a lot of them. But mostly with the new Shanks, Beckman, Yasub on the strength team. And then also, if one or more mythical Zoan types, or any of the 5 elders, or Luffy in his Gear 5 form, etc., all enemies special CT speed down of level 4. So 12%, it'll take 12% longer to charge their CT. So if the character is 30 CT, it takes 30 seconds to charge their cooldown. Then it will now take them like 34 seconds, which is a bit hard to deal with, right? I don't think it's that good. Like, yes, this is a very powerful effect, ability bind, etc, etc. It can definitely change the tide of the battle, but this is only activating one time. The leader skill is nothing too spectacular. I think Emu's the worst one, like, when it comes to GP leaders. Like, just right off the cuff, I would have to say that. Let me know your thoughts. Overall, I think Shanks is the best, Blackbeard is the second best, Luffy's the third best, and then Buggy's the fourth. I think Emu's the worst, like, just genuinely. Let me know your thoughts. I will definitely test these guys out on GP videos. I'll test Luffy with the timeout victory condition. I'll test out the new Blackbeard with a quick team going up against the Shanks and see how that turns out. I'm very excited to see that. And then also testing Buggy on a well-rounded inst team and see how that goes. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And I'm out.